Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait. Hold the brakes. So we are live. I am live again. Back again. I told y'all I was going to do some kind of a NFL recap of the games that happened today. So whether they are not, let's get it popping. What up, Shad? What's cracking with it? What's cracking, brother? Oh,
Oh
we are
boy.
up in here. We are live. He is getting his cam. Once he get that camera ready, we will bring Shad back up on here, man. Back up on the stage. Once he get his camera and everything together, man. You dig? So and all of that. What up, Shad? What's going on, brother?
What up?
Oh, he got the baby with him. Look at baby girl, man. Beautiful, man. Beautiful, beautiful.
I don't know what StreamYard did. They said I couldn't log in due to my iOS Safari software. So
Oh
I don't
wow.
know. I don't know.
Oh wow. We got the
So
baby with him. What's good? What's good with it? Solid gold. What's up, man? Oh, he got the baby with him too. Beautiful baby, man. Beautiful. Y'all, see, this is how hard it works, bro. This is how hard we be out here working, y'all. It's a lot. I'm telling you, it's a lot. I appreciate you coming, Shad, man. If you had to bet, you know what I mean, bro. You did not have to be here right now, but you here, and I appreciate that. Y'all, so we're gonna recap some of these NFL games. First, we're gonna talk about the New York Giants and the Cleveland Browns, and we're gonna go game by game as quickly as possible. The Giants had taken down the Browns. They went into the dog pound and beat the Browns 21-15, bruh. 21-15. Daniel Jones was 24 for 34, 236 yards, two tutties. Deshaun Watson was 21 for 37, 900 and 196 yards, two tutties. Devin Singletary, 16 carries, 65 yards a carry. Jerome Ford, 10 carries, 37 yards. Malik Neighbors had 78 yards and two tutties. Amari Cooper had 86 yards and two tutties, bro. Like, I mean, what you thinking about this game, bro? As far as, I mean, we really didn't have time to look at the film. You know what I'm saying? So it's just us, our quick takes on the game and how we felt about the game and all.
I mean, probably looking at this, you're going into the game, you lean towards the Browns to win it. New
Absolutely.
York seems to be in turmoil every year. Even when they had Eli. So I
Right.
mean, this is a good win for them. And again, this kind of breaks down how the NFL is kind of different than college in many ways, where the favorite is not always the favorite to win. Like for instance, my Raiders right now are losing to the Panthers, 21-7.
What is what's wow? Wow.
so, so I mean, this type of stuff the NFL gives you. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the main things that keeps them so popular is the fact that it's a lot of uncertainty. You don't go into each and every game feeling like, okay, well, I know this team is going to win regardless of situation, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
it happens. So, but that's a good win for the Giants, though, man. I know Daniel Jones is under a lot of scrutiny. Got the big contract, has been injured and things like that. Kind of the offseason thing with the Malik Neighbor situation. So that was kind of a little cringy right there. But winning, it does settle the masses at least for a night. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully they can use this momentum and do something because the NFC, the division that they're in, the NFC East,
Yeah.
like it may be wide open this year.
Man, bro, it's just so and I'm thinking the Browns is about to get them right. I'm not mad that the Giants went into Cleveland and beat the Browns at all, as y'all can see from my gear to what's behind me and everything else. I am not mad at all at the Giants. but Daniel Jones seems to not be playing consistently. You know what I mean? He'll have a game or two where he does this, and he was 24 for 34, only missed 10 of his attempts. Malik Neighbors absolutely went off. They needed Malik Neighbors, and he has showed up for this team. But the Browns are very inconsistent, man. The Browns are very inconsistent in what they're doing and their gameplay, bro. Like they just are. I don't know. You go ahead and you drop all the money that you spent on Deshaun Watson as a Browns fan, and you just can't be happy what's going on out there. And they were unable to run the ball. They were unable to run the ball. I mean, look, couple years back, just a couple years back, y'all. Nick Chubb, damn, Kareem Hunt. We was looking at the Browns like, oh my goodness, they got one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL. Now they were just unable to run the ball in this game. They were not able to run the ball. I mean, yeah, Deshaun Watson had 196 passing yards, but I mean, you got to tally that up with the sacks. Also, the Browns' offensive line was supposed to be one of the most important, and you just can't put all the pressure of that Browns team upon Miles Garrett to get the job done. You just can't do that. And you can't drop a game like this to the Giants in a season like this. The way that our division is and the teams that we're going to be playing, I think we got the whole AFC West. Our division does. We have each other, and then we got the whole NFC East. You cannot lose a game like this to the Giants and expect to be competing in this division with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Cincinnati Bengals. You just can't do that if you're the Browns, man. And it's unfortunate for them. I know the Browns fans is feeling it. I know I should be in here talking big ish on y'all and whatever else is going on, but I got some bigger issues to work out. So I'm gonna just let y'all have this one from Truck and Chubby. All right, we're gonna keep it moving on to the next game. So the next one we got the Eagles and the Saints, man. So the Eagles was able to go down there to the Mercedes Superdome and pull away with the win 15-12 against the New Orleans Saints. Jalen Hurts was 29 for 38, 311 yards, no touchdowns. He had one pick. Derek Carr was 14 for 25, 142 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Saquon Barkley absolutely redeemed himself after dropping that third down catch, or was it fourth down? I think it was his fourth down catch. And he had 17 carries, 147 yards, two tutties. Alvin Kamara 26 carries, 87 yards. Dallas Goedert had 10 receptions, 170 yards. Chris Olave had 86 yards and one touchdown. I'll start off with this game, Shad. You know what I'm saying? I know you preoccupied, but they had look, Derek Carr. Everybody, we all out here saying that, oh, Derek Carr back the Saints is putting up points. Is he really? Because you do what you do, right? And now you go into a game with a Eagles defense, and we can honestly all agree that's out here, that's watching. Salute to everybody that's out there tuning in. I appreciate y'all. That the yards that he got today, 142, 14 for 25, that is not good for y'all. That is not good for y'all, no whatsoever. Derek Carr did not show up today. Is he hitting that downslide he normally hits every season, or it's just one of those games where he faced a good defense that was there? Because I mean, look, that's all. That's what I think. When he goes up against good defenses, he normally pulls the choke out. And I know the Saints fans ain't really, but I think it was a good game. Not to take away from anything, they only lost by 3 points. It was 15-12, but the Eagles did wind up driving back in this game and winning the game. They wind up coming back. So that's not really put on upon Derek Carr, even though he did throw a pick, but that defense also did not step up neither. And Jalen Hurts was out there looking like a straight up pocket passer with over 300 yards in this game against the New Orleans Saints. So big ups to the Eagles. I'm not mad at the Eagles. I rocks with the Eagles. It's PA thing, you know what I mean? Plus, got an Eagles fan in the house. So I could rock with that. Good game by them. I mean, like I said, we really were able to check out a lot of with the film in every game. So we did catch the highlights and the things you caught. So what did you pick up from this Eagles game, Shad?
Well, to be honest, I was able to watch the end of this game. right? So
Okay.
I was able to watch Derek Carr throw the touchdown to Chris Olave, which was a great route concept. Got him matched up on the safety, so that's always an advantageous position to be in. And the Saints had Jalen Hurts dead to rights. The play that really sprung them to get the go ahead touchdown and the 2 point conversion that followed after was
Mm-hmm.
simply the Saints were man to man. They sent the house. Dallas Goddard ran a shallow drag, and you literally had two defenders running into each other. And Dallas Goddard caught the ball, and 70 some odd yards later, they're in prime position. They hand it off to Saquon Barkley. He gets the touchdown, and then they essentially run the same exact play again for the 2 point conversion. The Saints get the ball back, and obviously, with me being a Raiders fan, I have a lot of history with Derek Carr, right? And I said to myself, no lie, I'm not just saying this because I'm spiteful. I said Derek Carr's gonna throw an interception. That's exactly what I said. I said Derek Carr is going to throw an interception. That is exactly what I said. So I watched as the play unfolded. There was pressure in his face. Kudos to Derek Carr because he stood in the pocket, took the hit. But when you look at the pass, the receiver was not expecting the ball. Maybe if he was expecting it, maybe he could have maybe adjusted himself to get in front of the defender to prevent the interception. Because the interception that Blankenship caught, it wasn't an
Yeah.
easy interception to catch by any stretch, right? He had to dive, lay out for it, but he caught it, and that's the way the Saints end, right? I know Derek Carr for the past 2 weeks has been, on a tear. Again, as a Raiders fan, I know about Derek Carr looking like an MVP the first couple of weeks of the season, and then he just kind of goes back down into what he is. But all in all,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good game, a low scoring game. Again, a game that many people probably would have felt like, hey, look, this is a 50-50 matchup. The Saints are the Saints are undefeated. Derek Carr's playing well. You probably would lean to the Saints in this particular game. But the Eagles redeeming themselves after a game last week in which they probably more or less shouldn't have lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even with this particular loss, early in the season, the Eagles with down some pieces. You have this win is even more commendable. AJ Brown wasn't there. Devontae Smith went out, so they were dependent on Dallas Goedert, who had the biggest game of his career. I believe he had 10 catches, over 170 some odd yards. Saquon Barkley looking like the Saquon Barkley that the Giants were hoping that they would get, coming out of Penn State with a big
Absolutely.
65-yard touchdown run. So, all in all, man, the Eagles, I know a lot has been said about them, some dysfunction between the head coach and, Jalen Hurts. But again, similar to what I said about the Giants, a win quiets the masses, at least for the night. So, kudos to the Eagles for, taking the show on the road, as they say, you know.
Right. Facts,
And,
bro.
and as you
Facts.
and as they say, defense travels. Defense travels. So they were able to stymie what it was that the Saints were able to do.
Right. 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 I rocks with that. Yo, this game was a total upset, bro. This was an upset, Shad. Oh my goodness, bro. The Houston Texans went to Minnesota, took on the Minnesota Vikings, and absolutely ished the bed. The Texans 7 points. The Vikings 34 points. CJ Stroud was 20 for 31, 215 yards, one touchdown, two interceptions. Sam Darnold was 17 for 28, 181 yards, four touchdowns. Cam Akers 9 carries, 21 yards. Where in the heck is my man? Where's their back at? Why is Cam Akers being the leading rusher for the Texans? I don't know what happened. Aaron Jones 19 carries, 102 yards for the Vikings. Stephon Diggs, 10 receptions, 94 yards. Justin Jefferson, 6 receptions, 81 yards, and a touchdown in this game. Okay. Yo, I'm going to say this, Shad. You know, you can have addition by subtracting, but you also can have subtraction by addition. And I think, honestly, I'm starting to understand Stephon Diggs can be a cancer, bro. He wants the ball so much in this game. He wants the ball so much, bro. To a little too much, if you ask me. That's too much targets for the weapons that is on that team. Why is Stephon Diggs and what I'm saying by that, Shad, and what I mean by that, why I'm saying this, y'all out there, right? is you have Nico Collins, Tank Dell. You also got Dalton Schultz on this team, right? And Robert Woods, right? You got these guys. You got guys who you could spread the ball around to, and somehow Stephon Diggs end up with six more receptions than Nico Collins. I'm not even that doesn't the stats I'm looking at don't even show the targets, how many times they were targeted in this game. So I could just imagine how many times he was looking for Stephon Diggs. Like you can't guard all of them. You cannot that is impossible for you to sit there and to guard all of those guys. So big ups to the Minnesota Vikings and the defensive scheme that they came up with, first of all, because they did a good job at arguably the best one of the best wide receiver cores in the NFL with Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and those guys being there. So kudos to the defensive scheme that they wrote up with that defensive coordinator. There's man, listen, he just wants the ball so much. 10 receptions, bro, for 94 yards. He tried to squeeze one in there to Robert Woods that I think that wasn't just there. Got tipped up that interception. And look, bro, it's just I don't know how this is possible to get beat that bad. That bad. They had absolutely no running game, and it goes to show CJ Stroud needs a back that can go and run the ball. But I thought they had a back there. I'm guessing he must have been hurt. Somebody out there in the comments, let me know what's going on. Because Joe Mixon he's not showing up on the stats here, so I'm guessing Joe Mixon was out with some kind of injury or something like that. And they need Joe Mixon back, bro. They need Joe Mixon because Cam Akers, 9 rushes, 21 yards. CJ Stroud having 3 for 12. And they just couldn't find a running game for the life of them. And everything just was on CJ's back today. And it just didn't work out. It didn't work out, bro. It didn't work out. None whatsoever. So what's your take on this game?
Yeah, I think the Joe Mixon situation, I know last week they were talking about, there should have called a penalty for a hip drop tackle last week. I think that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
headlines that I saw that D'Amico Ryans was, kind of complaining about in terms of
Yeah.
referee. So maybe there was something that occurred with Mixon, to cause that. But again, third game in a row in a situation where we felt like the team that should have been favored, they didn't win, right? Um, as far as Stephon Diggs getting 10 catches again without actually, like you say, looking at the game, I I don't know what could have led to that. I know Stephon Diggs is one of the superior route runners in the league, and could have been a situation like, look, hey, this is my old team. I want to show them what I'm missing, kind of as they say, show the people the old thing. But unfortunately, the new thing is just as good or even better than the old thing in Justin
Right.
Jefferson. Sam Darnold seems to be having some type of resurgence. I don't know what the situation is. I mean, maybe it just could be, a couple of games in which Sam Darnold looks well because I know some people still have this, at least from what I've heard, some media
Yeah.
pundits they still have this idea that Sam Darnold can actually turn it around. And I think that's simply because of what Goff is doing with Detroit.
Yep.
They put him in a situation where he doesn't have to do a whole lot. They've put some weapons around him. Excuse me, and he's looking very well. So when you look at the way that the Vikings are currently constructed, you have the superstar receiver in Justin Jefferson. You were able to get Adam Jones, Aaron Jones, I'm sorry, in a trade. A divisional, a division rival trades you one of their best assets. So you have that, and defense is still solid. Offense is still
Mm-hmm.
solid. So, maybe they can hold this in the row because again, similar to the NFC East, the NFC North, right now is a division that looks like it could be up for grabs. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So the Vikings, getting a win against a team that was a playoff contender, a team that many people probably have favored to win their particular division, the AFC South, to win their particular division. So I mean, this goes a long way for the Vikings. You know what I mean? And hopefully we'll see. Obviously, it's still early in the season, right? But getting these type of key victories against good teams, does go a long way in and helping. So
Doing
kudos
it,
to the
man.
Vikings. And this type of score right here, you don't usually have these type of scores in NFL
No.
games. You know, 28-point defeat. Or
Yes.
three or more possession. So
Yes. And some
yeah,
people got them favored to win the AFC South. The Houston Texans. Not only that, but some people got them pushing, second round divisional playoffs,
yeah, a lot of
early.
hype. Yeah,
They're one of the teams out of the AFC that people are saying, can't be messed with. And they just totally got exposed today. Like without a running game, that team is not going to do as good as they did last year, obviously. But you need some kind of the running game. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. 34-7. Kudos. Shout out to the Vikings, man, which I able to do today. So Vikings fan, feel good about what y'all put out there. I think that a lot of these guys, Shad, to answer your question a little bit about like the resurgence of some of these young quarterbacks, sitting some of these guys for a year or two, I think is absolutely what these guys need. Some of them, not all these guys can come into the NFL. And Sam Darnold tore things up at SC, right? He was very good at SC, and people wanted him to come in and start right away and be able to provide to a team that was just horrible and the organization's just bad. It all is the organization they go to from from college. That has a big thing to do with it. And I think sitting also has something to do with it, right? Because I think that Michael Penix, I think that he will wind up having one of the best careers out of his quarterback classes. He went to the Falcons. I know he's a little older, but he's sitting behind Kirk Cousins, somebody that is knows what to do in the NFL, how to read these NFL defenses, know how to expect some of the things, and he's sitting one behind a good quarterback. So I think Michael Penix may be one of those guys who may come in when he's ready to start and he's going to give the league everything they're asking for. You know what I'm saying? I think that has a big thing to do with it, man. Coming to sit. What's up, Bishop? Salute to you, man. Salute to you on Solid Gold. Yeah, we recapping the NFL. So let's move on to the next game. Next game we got here, Denver Broncos. They traveled down to Tampa and they put it on the Buccaneers 26-7. Bo Nix was 25 for 36, 216 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Baker Mayfield was 25 for 33, 163 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Their running back Tyler Batty had 9 carries for 70 yards. Bucky Irvin had 9 carries for 70 yards. Cortland Sutton had 7 receptions, 68 yards, no touchdowns. Chris Godwin had 6 receptions, 53 yards, no one touchdown for the Buccaneers. These were the game leaders. There is other stats there, but we're just like I said, we're just kind of just recapping and just going through the game and what we think off of, just recap quick thoughts. It's not like we had time to go and analyze each game and break down the film of each game, but I will say this though, this is another one of those games. Again, as we keep on repeating, it seems like for the fourth time so far since we opened up that I did not expect the Buccaneers to lose to the Broncos in this fashion. Had they lost to the Broncos, I thought it would have been a closer game. But shout out to Sean Payton and Bo Nix for what they were able to do with that offense to move the ball, even though they had short fields. Because they did get an interception. That defense did step up and help out that offense a lot today. From when they moved the ball downfield with Bo Nix and the way that he was hitting his guys and sharing the rock and spread the rock around. And may I say that he did spread the rock around pretty decently. I want to say that because Javonte Williams had a couple of short dink and dunk passes, 4 of them for 29 yards. And then you had Josh Reynolds had 2 catches for 36 yards. Jordan Humphrey had 6 catches for 37 yards. And Cortland Sutton, of course, had 7 for 6. But then like Troy Franklin popped up on the thing, Marvin Mims Jr., Adam Trotman, and these guys, he's hitting these guys for 6, 7, 8 yard, 9 yard passes because that's what Bo Nix is good at doing. And Sean Payton knew what he was going to do with Bo Nix. So I want to say shout out to that game plan with the Broncos put together today, and that defense showed up, played good D, and they were able to go down to Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers home field and put a beating on them, put a beating on them. You hear me? 26-7. Man, what's your takeaway of this game, bro?
I mean, the Bucks like they were on fire. To start the season off again. Like I said, it's still relatively early, so there's no need to make any outlandish, statements about, well, the Buccaneers are in trouble, the Broncos were 0-2 and things like that.
Right.
Because you do
Yeah.
have situations, it's human nature. They quite possibly could have went in and maybe overlooked the Buccaneers and not the Buccaneers, but overlooked the Broncos in certain situations because it did look like they were, treading in that direction. But, kudos to Sean Payton. I know when Sean Payton was hired by the Broncos, they were they were looking for an established head coach who has a career of winning games. So I feel like he may have a quarterback in Bo Nix that maybe fits similar to the mold that he had with Drew Brees, but obviously that's a very, very lofty expectation to place on a young man to be a first ballot, to be as good as a first ballot Hall of Famer, a career stat setting,
Mm-hmm.
quarterback with the likes of Drew Brees. But the Broncos have had a good defense too, man. The past couple of years, that's kind of been their calling card, even dating back to their last Super Bowl, where Peyton Manning was an absolute shell of himself. That defense pretty much paved the way for their most recent Super Bowl, and they still seem to have a very good defense, today. So if they can get that offense, get their offense together again, because you're gonna need it in the division that they're in, where you have the likes of Patrick Mahomes. You're gonna need it. Tampa Bay, again, the NFC South looks to be, pretty much wide open. Them and the Saints, at least for the first 2 weeks of the season, look like to be the two teams that were going to be the ones that probably going to end up settling how the division pretty much falls. And it very well may still be the case. You know what I mean? But,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a bump in the road, kind of like unlike college, you don't expect for NFL teams to go undefeated throughout the entire season. So,
Right.
there's going to be ebbs and flows in the game. But again, man, good win for the Broncos. Maybe they can use this win as a springboard to you know make the AFC West a little bit more competitive.
Right. Right. Right, bro. I got you on that, bro. So let's hit to the next one. This game, bro. Green Bay and Tennessee. We are seeing some absolute spankings, bro. Like I'm not expecting these games to just be two, 17-yard games, finishes. But Green Bay travels to Tennessee and they defeat the Titans, man, 30-14. The Green Bay Packers are now 2-1. The Tennessee Titans are 0-3, fall to 0-3 now. Malik Willis was 13 for 19, had 202 yards, had one touchdown. Will Levis was 26 for 34, 260 yards, two touchdowns, two interceptions. Malik Willis also had 6 carries, 73 yards, one touchdown. Tony Pollard had 6 carries for 14 yards. Christian Watson had two receptions, 67 yards, excuse me. DeAndre Hopkins, 6 receptions, 73 yards, and one touchdown. Just wasn't enough to get going. Will Levis turning the ball over in this game, I'm sure had something to do with them blowing them out like that. Malik Willis absolutely has once again led the team in rushing for the second week in a row and has showed up in both categories strongly. Malik Willis is a problem. I think so. 6 carries, 73 yards, and that's what he does good. But for him to be, damn near perfect, 13 for 19, 202 yards and a touchdown from Malik Willis is good. The Green Bay Packers just know what they're doing, man. I like that organization. I really do, man. I'm a fan of organizations like this where they just know how to put their pieces together on the field and build football teams from pros and to put product on there that's respectable every year in the NFL. So if you're a Green Bay Packer fan, you can go ahead and pat yourself on the back. Um, this is just another one of those games where they had no running game. They had no running game. They didn't have no time to. Will Levis threw 2 picks, turned the ball over, and you can't expect to do that and give these guys, short field to work with because they're professionals. I don't care what team it is. And now they paid the piper. They went out there and they lost that game, man. You can't do that in the NFL. You can't go out there and put up 33 rushing yards in an entire NFL game. You know what I mean? And I mean, look, the Packers was trying to get y'all the game. They had 10 penalties in this game. Y'all, but they both had like the same amount of total plays in the game, so you really can't sit there and blame it on that either. You know, they had the Tennessee Titans had more first downs. Their third down efficiency was better. Turning the ball over from Will Levis, getting sacked 8 times on top of the two interceptions. The Titans got some work to do, obviously, man. And it's obvious, but they are an NFL team, and I'm sure that they will bounce back and sneak some wins in at some point somewhere in this season. But right now, to get that beat like that at home, that's just unacceptable in the pros to me. This is not college, like you said, Shed. This is the NFL, bro. You can't get beat like that at home.
I mean, this is the second game that we have on the slate where we have the X trying to show the current, like, hey, look what you missed out on, because the Tennessee Titans, they did draft Malik Willis, and he's with the Green Bay Packers. For him to go to Tennessee and get a victory, I'm sure that meant a lot to him, because you do have an organization that pretty much said, hey, look, you're not good enough, and really didn't give him a whole lot of time to to pretty much see what it was that he was before they drafted, Will Levis. And Will Levis may actually end up being a better quarterback than Malik Willis, because I will put the disclaimer out here. Green Bay is a much better organization. They are in a much better situation than the Tennessee Titans are. So this may very well help Malik Willis tremendously. Shout out to LaFleur, because you lose Jordan Love, who many people felt like them going from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love was going to be a bump in the road. But kudos to the Green Bay Packers. They have. I, I know it's too early to say this about Malik Willis, but for Jordan Love's sake, the Green Bay Packers have to be one organization that, hey, look, they've been right about the three quarterbacks that they drafted. So from Brett Favre, well, they didn't draft. Well, no, they didn't draft Brett Favre. They got Brett Favre, drafted Aaron Rodgers, and then they were able to draft Jordan Love. So
Mm-hmm.
for them to go pick up Malik Willis, obviously there was something that they saw in Malik Willis that they felt like could complement what it was that they tried to do offensively. And obviously with him, as you say, leading the team in rushing, that's not something that you want your quarterback to do. But it just goes back to show like, hey, Aaron Jones is still missed, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
he was an absolute force to end last year in terms of running the football. But good win for the Packers, another team that has a good defense. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see how things go. The NFC North again. Most people penciled that it was either going to be. Most people penciled that it was going to be the Detroit Lions winning this particular division, and then obviously with the Green Bay losing Jordan Love, that probably strengthened the case for the Detroit Lions. But it looks like they have some things that they're going to have to get over to. So again, it's good to see that the Green Bay Packers are not laying down and not conceding
Mm-hmm.
anything, because there was a show that I was watching, and that was one of the things that they brought up, where it was like it's going to be so hard to look at the Green Bay Packers being a significant threat in the NFC North with them losing Jordan Love. And that may still very well be the case, but at least today, and we can say that
Mm-hmm.
the Tennessee Titans are a bad team, but they got NFL players on the team, right? They got NFL
Right.
players. But hey, look, Green Bay, they're gonna find a way to win. And I
Right.
agree with you. Coming from a Raiders fan, it is absolutely fantastic to see teams that can just draft the way that they need to draft and put players in position to succeed, and it's not so much turmoil and
Yeah.
toxicity like
Mm-hmm.
that arises in certain organizations, with my Raiders being one of the teams that are at the top of the toxicity radar in terms of organizational, right? But
Ah,
hey,
man, we'll
but a
talk
win.
about them in a minute here. We'll get on to you. We'll get on to your Raiders. They're at the
We
bottom
don't
of the
have
list.
to. We don't have
But
to.
the Chicago Bears took on today the Indianapolis Colts in the good game there. Came down to the wire. 16 Chicago Bears had 16 points. So Chicago Bears fall to 1-2. The Indianapolis Colts get their first win of the season. Caleb Williams was 33 for 52. 363 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Anthony Richardson was 10 for 20, 167 yards, 2 interceptions. What is his name? Roscoe Johnson. Is that how you pronounce it? Was
I don't
he
know.
had 8 carries for the Bears for 30 yards. He was their leading rusher. Jonathan Taylor had 23 carries, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns for the Colts. Rome Aduzie had 6 catches, 112 yards in the tutty. And Alec Pierce had 1 reception, 44 yards. He was the Colts leading reception in this game. Now we can get to talk about what's going on with the first. I'll talk about a little bit about the Colts and Anthony Richardson. Now that the NFL has finally absolutely always have a defense, somebody on that defense accounting for Anthony Richardson and what he's doing and being able to provide the pressure on him and put the little bit of pressure on him. They only let up 1 sack, the Colts did, right? So let's not sit here and act like I'm not gonna sit here and act like they were sacking him all over the place and we're act like he was just under so much scrutiny, right? Because the Bears just didn't get to him enough. But what I will say here and say is that I just never was really that high on Anthony Richardson when he came up out of college, and I'm gonna be honest, and the only reason why is because a lot of people had him going, second, third round or something, or fourth round, even maybe, coming up out of Florida, seeing what he put on film at Florida, correct? He ran a great 40 time and automatically catapulted into the first round, and they were drooling over him. Absolutely. They had to get him. And people was warning the Colts about a game like this, and it could continue. Now, I know he's a great athlete. He has a lot. I think personally he has things to work on in the passing game. Obviously, right? I think he's a great athlete though. But when you go up against somebody like that, the Bears, and you do win, but 2 interceptions, that's because of that defense, bro. That defense is good out there in Indy, and without them, they don't win this game, bro. Without Jonathan going off for 2 touchdowns, running for 110 yards, because Anthony Richardson straight up played it was just horrible the way he played this game. Now on the Caleb Williams throwing for 52 times. I know he's your first round pick, but damn, like when you got Khalil Herbert in the backfield and DeAndre Swift, both of that 1-2 punch, and Roscoe Johnson back there now, you got 3 backs that can get the job done, and neither one of them had 50 or more yards. That is inexcusable, Chicago Bears. What the hell is going on? You got 3 running backs who can carry the ball, who can absolutely run the ball well, and neither one of them go over 50 yards, and you got your rookie quarterback. I don't care how goddamn this generational talent of a quarterback Caleb Williams is. He threw for 52 times against arguably the best linebacker in the NFL, and Leonard, that plays for the Colts. And believe me, I'm high on Patrick Queen. I love Patrick Queen. I love TJ Watt. But Leonard for the Colts is him. He's him. And then you got that defense, 52 times, 363 yards. Yeah, that's cool. He tried to spread the ball around. They got the weapons up there in Chicago, so there's just no damn reason why that should be happening. And why the Bears right now, it's still early in the season. They're only 1-2, but still, come on, man, come on. That's what you're talking about with this organization. They're heavily leaning on a rookie to carry that team past the threshold, and that is the problem with that organization, and always has been. And I thought they was going to turn that around. You know what I'm saying? I thought they was going to turn it around, and that just cannot. You can't do that, man. You just can't do that. And the Bears should have won this game. Absolutely. It seems to be that Caleb is a little timid when it comes to the pressure. He got sacked 4 times. When somebody's getting in his face in the NFL, seems a little different than college, obviously, right? And I'm just being honest, right? I'm calling it like I seen it, y'all. That's all I'm saying, And you dropped this game 16-21 with Anthony Richardson playing horrible. That's just unexcusable. Another one of those games where I'm disappointed in the product that the NFL has given us so far. Like, this is why I like college football. I'm glad I got into it, because now I get to see a lot better play in college than I seeing in the damn NFL. These are professionals. That's just uncalled for. But I'll let you have it, bro. I digress.
Well, as I said, when we on the onset of when we first, collaborate together, by default, the Chicago Bears are my second favorite team because I have family that lives in Chicago. They've brought me Chicago Bear, memorabilia, and
Hmm.
we talked about this how I did not want them to get rid of Justin Fields and to get Caleb Williams, who I feel like was the exact same quarterback. But in his defense, though, no, he should not be throwing the ball 52 times. I mean, I know they went out, they revamped the weaponry that they gave him, but a rookie quarterback, he needs a run game, right? If you were to switch
Hmm.
positions, where you have Anthony Richardson on the Bears, and you have Caleb Williams on the Colts, Caleb Williams probably would have looked spectacular today. The
Hmm.
Colts probably would have ran the Chicago Bears completely off the field, right? And that goes back down to fit because the the Indianapolis coach can run the ball. Chicago Bears head coach, more or less, you're on the hot seat, right? Depending on how some college things go, they may look to go get a college coach. I think Ryan Day is a guy that many NFL teams are kind of looking at. So I don't necessarily know, but no, you don't need to be throwing the ball 52 times. I know you, like I
Absolutely
said,
not.
I know you went out and got some weapons and things like that. And I know Chicago again, another team for a myriad of years that have had a solid defense, right? And throwing the ball 52 times, man, it's not beneficial. I don't know why they're not trying to run the ball more, as you said, because the current head coach for the Chicago Bears is the former defensive coordinator for the Colts. So
Crazy.
firsthand what it looks like for a team to be, you know, pretty much competent. And you go out, you draft Caleb Williams. Again, like I said, I'll put my bias aside for a second. That is one thing that Caleb Williams has not had dating back to college. He's not had
As
a
a run
running
game.
game. He's been used to having to put every single thing on his shoulders, and you can be successful doing that in
Hmm.
college so far until you run up against a team that's complete. But in the NFL, that's not a recipe for success. It should be no situation, especially when you think about the score of the game. Usually,
Hmm.
if you throw the ball 52 times, we're talking about scores that are in the high 30s, low 40s, or even mid 40s. We're talking about a game where y'all didn't even score. No team scored 25 points.
None.
So there's no need to throw the ball 52 times. It was as they say, it's the law of diminishing return. That's essentially what it was, the law of diminishing return. You throw 52 times, two picks, two interceptions. So essentially, you canceled out the positive
That you.
that you had, and then
Hmm.
you took four sacks, which in actuality, I don't really think that's a lot of sacks when you think about you threw the ball 52 times. So obviously the line is protecting better, but you got to make a concerted effort to throw the ball. Y'all are an outside team at the end of the day. Let's not forget that. Y'all play outside. So it's imperative that y'all do get a run game together because it's not as if again this was a game that was out of hand to where you did not where you had to abandon the run. Y'all just chose not to run the ball.
And three backs. Y'all got three. Y'all have three backs set up there that can tote the rock. Three of them, not one. I got three different running backs that can run the ball. Well, I'm shocked. I'm I'm
Terrible,
I'm 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 uh,
terrible.
what up, Stretch? What's going on? He said I'm so mad with Chicago. I would be too. I would be too if I'm a Bears fan. That's absolutely an excuse. There's no excuse for that. Three running backs that can run the ball, and you got your rookie quarterback throwing for 52 times. Oh my goodness, man. All right, man. Let me uplift the show a little bit because my boy got it. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Y'all know it. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all knew I was going to do it. I don't know why y'all playing. Um, I am pleased with my team and what we are able to do. I don't care what anybody out there has to say. I'm glad Justin Fields has got the starting job. It absolutely puts more on that defense. It makes the defense condensed. Because it makes somebody always have to account for Justin Fields. They're always peeking at him. As y'all can see, George Pickens is already drawing the double teams, which is opening it up for other receivers like Calvin Austin to have the game. But let me get into the stats real quick. So the Chargers came up to Pittsburgh. They lost 10-20. The Chargers fall to 2-1. The Pittsburgh Steelers moved to 3-0. Justin Herbert was 12 for 18, 125 yards, one touchdown. Justin Fields was 25 for 32, 245 yards, one touchdown, one interception. J.K. Dobbins had 15 carries, 44 yards. Najee Harris had 18 carries for 70 yards. Ladd McConkey had 3 receptions, 44 yards. Calvin Austin III had 4 receptions, 95 yards, and a tutty. Listen to what I'm talking about. And for all the haters out there that said that Justin Fields was not a damn pocket passer, excuse me, he ain't running that much up in Pittsburgh. So let me tell you that, dog. He ain't running that much. He ain't even start using them wheels the any way that he should be in Pittsburgh, bro. Like, he ain't rolling like that, bro. He got a touchdown today on the ground. Yeah. See, he had 6 carries for 6 yards and he had a touchdown, run touchdown, but he ain't using it the way as much as I thought he should be. And he spread the ball around fucking perfectly. Let me break that down to y'all. Cordell Patterson had 3 receptions for 15 yards. Najee Harris had 5 receptions for 16 yards. Scott Miller had 2 receptions, 31 yards. Pratt Firemouth had 4 receptions, 33 yards. George Pickens had 5 for 57. And Calvin Austin was our leading receiver with 95 yards, but he had 4 receptions. So let's talk about how much fucking Justin Fields ain't a pocket passer, right? Had to get him up there. Look, besides, if I'm trying to take my bias out of it, Justin Fields landed in the organization in the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is a great organization for Justin Fields, right? Somewhere where the prestige is different, where they're going to hold him accountable for the mistakes he makes. And they're also going, even though we are known for not developing quarterbacks, we develop players. I don't care. It's not a particular position, but we develop players. For years and years, as me growing up a Steeler fan and me paying attention to that organization, we don't pay everybody that comes to Pittsburgh, right? We develop some guys. Pittsburgh was always like one of those stepping stone type of organizations. You get drafted by the Steelers, you go and work on your craft, get better. Sometimes we either pay you or we don't, but you have to be a consistent pro to get paid in Pittsburgh. I'm just going to keep it real. Bud Dupree probably would have got paid had he been consistent and his health was a little bit better, right? Um, uh, Santonio Holmes just liked to smoke bud too much. He just couldn't clean up smoking the buds, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't legal back then. But you got to be a consistent pro to get paid in Pittsburgh. And Justin Fields is our future. He's and the dangerous thing about my Pittsburgh Steelers, and then I'm gonna pass it to you, bro, is that he's learning the Arthur Smith system, and we're still able to win with this defense. It's the defense that's carrying us. Like, let me make that clear, right? But once Justin Fields really gets locked into this offense, watch out. Watch out. This was if you a fan of the Ravens, the Browns, and the Bengals, this was your worst nightmare. He's learning this Arthur Smith offense. There was some questionable calls from Arthur Smith that I did not like in this game. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Justin Fields should have pulled the ball out of Jalen Warren's belly one time. He probably would have got a decent yard, but he let him have it. I'm not mad at that. But then right after, they tossed it right to Najee Harris, and Darwin James was right there in the backfield. I didn't like that play at all. But there he's learning the offense, and that's what I got to say. But we went in there and did what we were supposed to do. Like, quick breakdown. We got up in Justin Herbert's face. We gave him a Pittsburgh Steelers smackdown. He couldn't handle it. He got up out of there. He said, "Get me up out of this Pittsburgh Steelers game. These dudes ain't playing. I got a limp. Let me go to the sideline." We held J.K. Dobbins. He had 15 carries, 44 yards. We didn't let him get in there. We held them boys under, Matt, I add, under 600 yards in the game. He only had 61 yards in the game. We definitely got to the quarterback. We sacked them 5 times in this game. They only let up 2 sacks with this offensive line that we just patching together with some rookies and some vets. We had 21st downs, third down efficiency. We was 50% on the day. I ain't mad at my boys, man. We got some things that we definitely need to clean up because we got some better competition coming in later. And our offense absolutely has to get up in that end zone. We did that today because we got to take some pressure off that defense. But man, I ain't mad at the game today. I ain't mad. I ain't mad. What you got to say about this game, bro?
Hey man, great organization. Good win. Like I said, I know how Justin Fields was spoken about. Obviously, super athletic quarterback, so they automatically threw the dual threat title on him. But again, if
Mm-mm.
anybody watched him back at Ohio State, that is absolutely not how Ryan Day used him. Ryan Day used him in a way that he was operating from the pocket, and he was seemingly thrust into being this quarterback at Chicago that his past 2 years at Ohio State was not asked to be, right? But I agree with you. Him falling to the Steelers, organization that I feel like is going to believe in him, like you say, hold him accountable for all of those particular things. I think it was a great benefit. To me, again, this was an evenly matched, game. We know what the Steelers want to do. They want to, establish the run, live with the defense, and that's essentially what Coach Harbaugh is trying to bring to the Chargers. In sense of we want to run the ball and then we want to lean on our defense, which they have a very good defense as well, right? So um, this is one of them games where somebody had to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And all in all, I feel like the better team, won the game, and that was the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I do think that the Chargers, I want to say San Diego, but they're the LA Chargers. I feel like the LA Chargers are still going to be, a pretty good team, throughout the rest of the season. But again,
Yeah.
good win for the Steelers. Y'all are 3-0. In a division where, as it currently sits, y'all in the catbird seat. You know what I mean? Y'all in the
Mm-hmm.
catbird seat. So, but again, good win to the Steelers. So,
Appreciate it. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. You know I do. Man, I just it's just so much, And look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all out here. I'm not expecting my team to be no, 3 loss team, but it's shaping up to look like that. I had us losing 6 games this year, 6, 7 games. I honestly do that at the beginning of the preseason. And so I'm not expecting them to go out there and smack every game. But like I said, as long as we get the Chiefs up in December, I'm okay with it because I got something riding on that. But man, he's learning this offense, man. Justin Fields is absolutely learning it. That's what's really making us dangerous. And I don't know if that's what people are picking up on with Fields, man. He's learning the offense as he's going. And he's doing a fantastic job of it. So all that work ethic and what he's not, like y'all got him in Pittsburgh now, so y'all just be ready to be black and gold out again. I know it. I know it. I know y'all don't like the sound of that, but it is what it is. Y'all gonna be hearing about us for more years and years to come. So moving on. This game is taking place right now. It is actually in the fourth quarter. Is it? Yes. This game is actually in the fourth quarter right now with the Seattle Seahawks up 17-3. Yeah, we do know that Tua is out right now. So Skylar Thompson is at quarterback right now. They're 13 for 19, 107 yards. Geno Smith is 23 for 31, 259 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. A-Chain for the Dolphins has 11 carries, 30 yards. Zach Charbonnet has 13 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill has 3 receptions for 40 yards. DK Metcalf got 4 receptions, 104 yards, and a touchdown. So your fantasy team is booming right now. If you got DK up on it, you probably having a field day. They got to the Dolphins 5 times that Seattle Seahawks defense did. I think that's what they were absolutely looking to do in the draft. They got sacked 3 times. Geno Smith having 2 interceptions. The Dolphins seem to not be able to move the ball without Tua being that quarterback. They have to shore up that position. I thought that they would probably draft a quarterback, but I'm guessing Tim Boyle was in there too. He was in there he threw 8 times, 33 yards. They got to figure that position out, man. They got to get one. And I know if you're a Dolphins fan, you are absolutely livid right now because you do not understand why your organization did not draft a quarterback just yet, because y'all you knew that Tua had these concussion problems, right? He's had four of them. He's had problems. You don't know when he's going to quit, or and he has all right to quit the game at this point with as many concussions as he had, right? And I can't answer that question for y'all, but I would have thought that they would have definitely had gotten a quarterback. I was afraid when Justin Fields was on the market and I knew that we wanted him. I thought that the Miami Dolphins would have been one of the teams to be going after Fields, to be honest. But it didn't work out that way. But y'all they definitely have to get somebody in there to be able to manage that game in the way that Tua does, because Miami is a great team. I like the Dolphins. I like everything that they got going on there, man. A Chain, the weapons they got, Tyreek Hill, everything he does off the field, that's on him, right? But he is a damn great wide receiver, y'all. He is one of the greatest receivers right now in the NFL. Tyreek Hill can do it all. He is not just a speed guy. He can turn into a route run. He's a great elite route runner. Yes, I said elite, and that word is used usually, but that's what Tyreek Hill is. He can turn into a speed guy or a possession guy, depending on the kind of game that you're going to give him. And Jalen Waddell, watching that game, Jalen Waddell is absolutely going to turn into a great receiver playing with Tyreek Hill, and having that Jonnu Smith and Alec Ingold is a fullback, H back type guy, but he's a good tight end too. I think so. And so is Jonnu Smith, a veteran tight end, and which I think that Miami was missing a little bit of. Man, it's like, man, that team, it got all the down pieces, man. All the pieces, and it's Jack coming together. So if you're a Dolphins fan, I feel your pain, dog. I really do. I really do feel your pain. I'm just being honest about what's going on there, because there's just no excuse for that to happen the way that it is. And the Seahawks, big up to you if you're a Seahawks fan right now, because y'all doing your thing right now. Y'all cooking a decent balanced game. DK got in there, Noah Fant, Tyler Lockett, and Jason Smith and Jigba. He got a catch. But Tyler Lockett's been around, and he's one of them veteran guys that just does not go away. He's always up there putting in work every single game. And without Tyler Lockett there, DK don't do the things that DK do. And I'm just keeping it a buck, man. But shout out to them, man. Geno Smith throwing 2 interceptions, but he got 244 yards, and he's 21 for 29. So, those 2 interceptions, you can't take care of the ball, Geno. And then I would say a good game, but all in all, the Dolphins should be up right now with 2 interceptions on Geno's stats. What you think, bro?
What'd you say the score was again?
Ah, it just changed. 24 to 30. The Seahawks are up 24-3.
24-3. As you were talking, and we're looking at the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins almost look like one of those. When you just look at the name of the players on the team, they look like one of those collegiate teams where they're like, y'all got everybody, y'all got all the names over there. From A Chain, who super fast. You got Waddle. You got Hill. You got Robbie Chosen. You got Jalen Phillips, from the U. I mean, I have a lot over there, right? And to me, it just kind of shows that the master, which I go back to Kyle Shanahan. If this was Kyle Shanahan coaching the Dolphins, there's no way they would have 3 points. Mike
Mm-mm.
McDonald, for whatever reason, the backup
Mm-mm.
quarterback situation. That's one thing that the 49ers I can say about the 49ers, because obviously they are actually playing with a backup quarterback in Brock Purdy, who just has been playing well enough to keep the starting quarterback job, right? But he was the backup quarterback in terms of being drafted and who they opted to get first, right? But Mike McDonald is gonna have to do. He's gonna have to. They call him the genius. The genius play caller, right? Remember last year they scored 70 points on the Denver Broncos. So he's gonna have to get some. He's gonna have to get something established, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously you're not going to be able to run the same offense that you have been running with Tua, and for the at least for the near future, I do think you're gonna have to handle Tua with kid gloves because that's the last thing that we need to see is an NFL quarterback succumb on the field, right? Because that's one of the things that has
Right.
happened, going back down to high school football where things like that have happened. So that's the last thing the NFL needs right now is to see something like that because you already have a lot of outside factors and a lot of outside organizations that are dead set on limiting the NFL's, you know, reach. And that would be something that they would be salivating over if something like that were to happen. Hopefully, it does not happen. Hopefully, Tua and his family and people that are close to him really sit back and assess the situation and say, hey, look, you've made enough money, you've done enough. Um, Obviously, I'm sure you would have wanted the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Got a national
Mm-hmm.
title at Alabama, so that would have been fantastic because that would have been something that not a lot of guys have done. Win a national title as a quarterback and then turn around and win a Super Bowl as well. But you got to look at the bigger picture right now. I think Tua probably would be in a fantastic position to be a coach. I think he has the intellect to do that. He's one of those guys that would probably make a great coach because he's one of those guys that does not have all of the physical characteristics, but you know that for him to be successful, it has to be strictly mental with him. But again, not taking anything away from the Seahawks. Pete Carroll's not there anymore, so they got Mike McDonald in there, former defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, I believe, as well as the
Yeah.
Michigan Wolverines. So to kind of keep that train rolling, and again, another great organization, in the Seattle Seahawks, especially getting their organization together under the Pete Carroll years. And they're out here winning games with Geno Smith. Again, shout out to Geno Smith, one of those quarterbacks similar to Sam Darnold, similar to Jared Goff, who was drafted to some or put into some unfortunate situations, but finally when they go to a good situation, they're able to thrive. They're able to
Right.
to to look well. Now, whether or not they have enough to go ahead and win the division, that's a whole other conversation in that of itself. But the Seattle Seahawks still remain to be a good team and they're a good organization. But if you're a Dolphins fan, which I know a lot of Dolphins fans personally and indirectly, I know Dolphin fans. I know y'all are hurt right now. And the irony of it all is the fact that you have Dolphin fans that they didn't want Tua there. Some do want Tua, but now the ones that didn't want Tua, you see what life with Tua is like, and so I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure in the back of y'all mind, y'all want Tua, and then
Right.
the individuals that do want Tua, they kind of saying like, see, look, but at the same time, I know the fan base is kind of they're hurt right now because y'all have absolutely too much talent on this team.
Way too much.
Uh, and again, the thing about it, it's not even
Way too
cold.
much.
Listen, it's not even cold yet because
Way
that
too.
because that's the excuse that they say like, well, Mike McDonald, he's only good when it's hot outside. Well, it's hot. I mean, he's only good. Yeah, he's only good when it's hot outside. It's hot now, and y'all got 3 points.
This is perfect football weather. This that beginning that the end of the going towards the end of summer, almost the beginning of fall. Perfect football weather. It'd be like that up until maybe mid October. The third week in October, it start getting a little cooler. But man,
And you know what? And what compounds the problem is there was a mass exodus of talent from the Buffalo Bills due to contract, salary cap constraints. So Josh Allen's out there playing with a skeleton crew at receiver. The
mm-mm-mm.
the New England Patriots are rebuilding, and the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is back, but you don't know, how they would be. The Dolphins. This was supposed to be the year that y'all were supposed to take, the AFC
Control.
East. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all supposed to take
Mm-hmm.
control, but unfortunately, two was down, and Unless y'all know a Kurt Warner somewhere selling some insurance or I know what was it? I think it was Jay Cutler. I think Jay Cutler a couple of years ago, but y'all already had Jay Cutler down there in Miami. But Jay Cutler right now in Miami with the weapons and the big arm. I know he's been out the league, but hey man, I'm no not Jay Cutler. It was Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers was the one that said he would come back if there was a contender.
Oh no.
Y'all might need to call Phillip.
Mm-mm.
Y'all might need to call Phillip.
Man, there's
Just
some
get
guys out there, man.
they might need to call Phillip.
They just need somebody to come in there and manage the game and
That's
and
why
and
I'm saying
avoid that team.
call Phillip. Call
Philip
Phillip.
Rivers, huh?
Phillip
Philip
Phillip
Rivers
got
coming back.
Phillip got 10 kids right now. Phillip said he needs some NFL checks. The high school checks ain't cutting it. Y'all might need to call Phillip.
All right. Buddy, you just trying to stay up off of this game. That's what you was trying to do.
I'm not
You
trying to
try to
step
get
off of it, but I'm just saying Phillip Rivers did say that he would come back if a contender were to pick up the phone. And the Dolphins, y'all might need to call Phillip Rivers.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
What the
They
final
need
score
somebody
was?
down there.
What the
They
final
need
score
somebody down
was? What the final score of this game was, man?
in this game.
It was a score.
The final score. Let me see, because the final it still says going on according to me. It's
What's
36-15. 30 and the Panthers are on two. Raiders is 1-1. Looks like the Raiders is about to fall to 1-2. The Panthers are going to be also 1-2. Andy Dalton in this game is 26, 37, 319 yards, three touchdowns, no interceptions. Garner Minshew 18 for 28, 214 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Chuba Hubbard 21 carries, 114 yards. Zamir White 10 carries,
114?
34 yards. Deontay Johnson, ex Pittsburgh Steeler, eight receptions, 122 yards, one touchdowns. Trey Tucker for you got for the Raiders, four receptions, 75 yards. Man, I must, bro. Look, y'all let up three sacks this game so far. They let up two sacks, which is crazy to me. Which is crazy to me. All them times that Bryce Young got sacked, Andy Dalton go in there, and this offense looks totally different. Totally different. Like night and day different. Night and day different. This team has looked with Andy Dalton in there versus Bryce Young. Goes to show you that not all the time does a rookie quarterback need to come in and start right away because they were a Heisman finalist or won the Heisman. They're still a rookie. This is a different game. This is not a game where receivers are open every single play they drop back if they give the receiver a decent ball. This is a professional league where 1% of the men that are in college football get drafted to that have 0% body fat, that is chiseled like modern day gladiators, warriors on this field, running enormous speeds, being 6'6", 250 pounds, running 4.5s. Like this is different, bro. And that offense just looks to man completely night and day. I'm gonna let you have this game because you're a Las Vegas Raiders fan, and I'm sure you actually watched this game. And what's some of the takeaways in this game?
What you mean you gonna let me have it? It's
I
nothing to
mean,
have. It's nothing to have.
I
Nah,
mean, bro,
unfortunately, I don't have the packages available, so a lot of times I'm not able to actually watch my Raiders live. More or less, I tune in to commentary done by the Raiders Report. Shout out to Mitchell Rents, all the work that they do over there. Great setup over there. So more or less, I listen to it because that's probably the best way that I need to to take in information pertaining to my Raiders because if I actually sat and watched some of this stuff, I would be I would be upset. I don't know where to begin, right? Um Lose the first game of the season, then go and beat the Ravens and feel like that's a big win, but then again, we don't know how good the Ravens are. You know what I mean? Um Gardner Minshew, I mean, I don't really know, man. I know what Antonio Pierce wants to do. Obviously, being an defensive coordinator, dating back to his time when he was the defensive coordinator at Arizona State. Being on our current staff with the Raiders in a defensive position role, I know what he wants to do. A lot of people were kind of upset, me myself, when we let Josh Jacobs go, but I do think Zamir White is a solid running back, and just kind of looking at kind of what we done. We took Brock Bowers in the first round, the first pick, which obviously he was one of the top players in college, but I felt like maybe we should have used that pick maybe to get somebody on the defensive side of the ball. Personally, even though I did want Michael Penix, but obviously Penix was gone by the time we got to our pick. So I probably should have, got someone on the defense side of the ball because this is going to be kind of a rebuild in terms of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at it and kind of looking at just kind of the couple of years where we had a pretty good draft class, the draft class that Josh Jacobs was actually in. Pretty much all of the top players from that draft are gone. But I don't want to give a history lesson here because obviously everyone's not a Raiders fan and no one wants to hear me, make up what would be deemed as excuses, even though it's what happened. It's what happened. Uh, but it's gonna be a rough year, man. It's gonna be a rough year until we get something going. We gotta find an identity. We got Devontae Adams at this particular point. If there's a market out there for him, I mean, you can't sacrifice, I feel like, your job just to maybe keep a premier player, right? I think maybe you
Mm-hmm.
preserve your job, maybe let Devontae Adams go before the trade deadline if you get some favorable picks back because that's what we need this particular year, this year upcoming. And shout out to one of my buddies. My buddy made a very, very interesting assessment because I was talking to him this a couple of days ago. I told him, I said, man, it's gonna be a strong quarterback draft. And he told me, he said, maybe you need to reword that. And I said, what do you mean I need to reword that? He was like, because you're speaking about how well they performed in college. But the
Mm-hmm.
reality is a lot of these guys, the majority of these guys, once they get to the NFL and they have to play day one, they're not ready. So maybe you
Fat.
need to rephrase that. And I said, you know what, you're right. It's a strong draft class for collegiate quarterbacks. But in terms of NFL ready guys, and I may be biased by saying this, but the most NFL ready looking guy that I've seen, and I've watched a lot more college football games this year than I have in the past because I'm covering two additional teams. Cam Ward looks like the most NFL ready quarterback I've seen this entire year, right?
Mm.
Unfortunately, I don't feel like my team is going to be bad enough, and I don't think we need to try to be bad enough to get him in the draft because I don't think that we are a quarterback away. We need multiple pieces. We need offensive line help. We need some additional help along the defensive line. We need secondary help. I mean, me personally, I want us to go get Will Johnson. That's who I want us to draft this upcoming year. But in terms of this game, again, for the sixth or seventh time we've done this, everyone probably circled the Raiders to win this game because the Panthers, y'all have sat y'all starting quarterback. Y'all have looked like an absolute dumpster fire the first 2 weeks of the season. And the
Mm-hmm.
Raiders, after crapping the bed the first week, go out and beat a Baltimore Ravens team. And we're supposed to be sitting here talking about my Raiders being 2-1, but instead we're talking about us losing to what may actually be the worst team in the NFL. But
Period.
again, what does that make us if we lost to the worst team? Obviously, that makes us the worst team now.
I mean, the NFL is the team out to to play Angels advocate for you, bro. You know what I mean? When you got this is a professional league, bro. This ain't, a whole bunch of amateur, what I'm saying? These are the 1%, like I just said. So week to week it's gonna change. And this is college football starting to look like that too. But week to week things are going to change, and they just made the proper adjustment. And out was quarterback. I mean, look, he out there seeing ghosts. Bryce, look, Bryce Young got hit so much last year and was getting hit so much this year that he's out there seeing ghosts. The game speed has not slowed down to him. Andy Dalton out there, the game speed, he's used to it. It's slowed down to him. Look, it's not like the Panthers don't have the weapons to get it done. They spent a lot of money trying to ensure that offensive line and getting the pieces that they need down there to know, you know what I mean, to Charlotte. So they got the pieces. It's not like y'all getting beat by a team that does not have the pieces to
Nah,
beat
nah,
y'all
nah,
and
nah,
don't
nah,
have the
nah.
offense.
Nah, 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 nah. They don't have the pieces.
Why
We're
don't
bad.
they?
We're bad.
I get y'all in the rebuild mode, bro. Anybody that
We're
really
bad.
know what's going on, y'all rebuilding. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of some people shocked that y'all kept that Devontae Adams decided to stay, even though y'all rebuilding, because y'all are clearly rebuilding. Y'all went and got a bridge quarterback and Garner Minshew, just for a year. Because Michael, I honestly think it just try you feel like Michael Penix wasn't available. That's why the Raiders went with Brock Bowers, which was I think a good pick, good blocker, good, very balanced, good tight end. He
No,
may be one of the best tight ends in the NFL for years to come. But yeah, they
but
got the pieces, bro.
but you know what? But you know what though? This is the thing though, right? And this started under Gruden in terms of trying to build our team to mimic what the Kansas City Chiefs were doing, right? Obviously, we had big time tight end, who we ended up subsequently trading to the Giants, and I think he just recently said that he's retiring, right? Obviously, had Henry Ruggs the third, who
Had
through
some
his
off
car-
field
through
issues.
through his career way, he was supposed to be our Tyreek Hill. Tight end that we had was supposed to be our version of his name, Travis Kelsey. Obviously, we didn't have the quarterback, but I think that's what we were probably going to try to go to if we could have found a guy like that. Because at that particular point in time, the Kansas City Chiefs defense were not, what it is now under what Steve Spagnuolo has been able to do for them. But me personally, I would have much rather us mimic what it was that the 49ers have done in terms of solidifying the defensive line first and drafting defense first and foremost, and then maybe in the later rounds or something, maybe trying to get a couple of pieces that could have complemented the offense, right? I felt like that's what we should have been trying to do. I know we had Derek Carr during that particular time, and got a love hate relationship with Derek Carr. Loved him prior to his injury, which I feel like probably has him a little bit more timid, right? Because every injury, every player that gets injured, they don't react the same way. I feel like pre-injury Derek Carr was a pretty doggone good quarterback, but after the injury, it's kind of it is what it is. But that's what I felt like, right? And it feels like
Hmm.
with Antonio Pierce being the head coach, I felt like that's what was the direction that we were going to go. We need someone opposite of Max Crosby, which that's what we went to do last particular draft, getting the guy from Texas Tech. But again, Texas Tech is not one of those schools that's known for just churning out good defensive players. So I feel like we should have gotten Jalen Carter. Like, I mean, there's just so many questionable things again going back to organizational, but hopefully Antonio Pierce and the GM in there, they look at it and say, look, what we need is we need to get this defense together. The defense is playing well, it looks good, but we need to strengthen the strength. And then we need to try to run the ball. You say Gardner Minshew is a bridge quarterback. I feel like maybe he needs to be here another year, personally, so that if we do, because I think Aiden O'Connell, while he's not at the top of everyone's list, but if you kind of look around the NFL currently right now, I mean, I would venture to say that half the quarterbacks that are starting right now are not necessarily guys that are Patrick Mahomes.
He just
You
threw a
know,
touchdown. Aiden O'Connell just threw a touchdown. So it's 36-22 yard. Aiden O'Connell's 9 for 12, 82 yards and a touchdown right now.
yeah. So I mean, I feel like that's what we need to just roll with Aiden O'Connell and try to build a defense around it because again, kind of looking at what if you look at the rest of the division, right? We have the weakest defense, right? In terms of that, right? Chiefs has a good defense, Denver has a good defense, and the Chargers, they most definitely have a good defense. If you kind of look at the way that the other teams have kind of built their teams, they've kind of really went heavy on the defensive side, and they've gotten their share of offensive weaponry. But I feel like knowing our history as a Raider, we're a defensive minded football team, and that should be the MO. So, Brock Bowers probably will end up being a good player, down the road. But right now, more pressing needs. I do think we probably need to see what's open on the market for Devontae Adams, man. Get some picks, maybe get some players or whatever the situation is, and we need to do this because I like Antonio Pierce, right? I know he's gonna catch a lot of flack, but it is what it is, right? But
Right. Raider Nation. Y'all be back. Y'all be back, bro. Take some time. Man. San Francisco and hey, the 49ers and the Rams is right now in a battle right now, y'all. It's in the fourth quarter, 24-24. The Los Angeles Rams, the San Francisco 49ers are 1-1. Los Angeles Rams are 0-2 right now. It's tied up 24-24 in the fourth quarter. Looks like we could almost be having an overtime game. Brock Purdy is 20 for 26, 249 yards, 3 touchdowns. Matthew Stafford is 16 for 25, 221 yards, 1 touchdown. Jordan Mason for the 49ers, 19 carries, 77 yards. Kyron Williams has 23 carries, 83 yards, 2 tutties. Jawan Jennings had 11 receptions, has 11 receptions right now, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tutu Atwell, 4 receptions, 93 yards. And they are going at it right now. It is still live while we are doing this recording. It looks to me that the Rams they had some offensive line issues, and listen, man, they're picking, they made the adjustments, man. Sean McVay is a good offensive coach, bro. He knows what he's doing. They light up 3 sacks today. They were able to get the Brock Purdy one time, 8 penalties on those. The 49ers trying to keep the ball away from them, and they have the ball right now. 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 43-yard line. Man, this game's still going on. I would have think that the 49ers would have just beat the Rams, but you can't count McVay out, and don't let me count that quarterback out neither, because Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback, bro. He's a beast. He's a beast. Matthew Stafford is a good quarterback, great quarterback. I don't know how that game is going to turn out in overtime right now because it is a divisional game. But like I said, I would probably been leaning towards the 49ers, but great game for both teams right now. So far, so good. I think we seeing this is what a good NFL game looks like right here, y'all. Like I said, since I'm recording right now, I'm not looking at it live, but I'm pleased with this game and what's going on with it. How you feel?
yeah, I mean, this is the game where you got the teacher and the student. McVay, the student of Kyle Shanahan. A game like this, the defensive coordinators have to, they love probably this week because it's like I'm essentially going to take what I've been doing in practice, practicing against my offense, and now I actually get to see what it is in a real game because, Kyle Shanahan and McVay, style of offense, kind of the same. Two guys that, even with, weapons missing, they can make it work. You know what I mean? But again, man, this is a good game, man. A good
Yeah,
game. I think in the series, like in the games, I think the San Francisco 49ers have gotten the best of the Rams more times than the Rams have got the best of the 49ers. But it's always a nip and tuck ball game. You know what I mean?
yeah, it
So
is. Yes, sir. It
and
is.
like you
It
said,
is.
it's obviously been a division game. You want to win the game, but again, you got a rematch with them. But it still be good to get that first one out the way, and obviously be good for the Rams to get their first win of the season. You know what I mean? I
Right.
know the San Francisco 49ers are operating without George Kittle right now, as well as with Christian McCaffrey. So the fact that, again, it goes back to what we were talking about with the Dolphins, right? Like, Kyle Shanahan has weapons missing, but people still expect for the San Francisco 49ers to still put points on the board. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it kind of just shows that it's levels to this, even at the highest of high levels. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like his game. I like it. It's still on. This is another game that's still live right now. Looks like Detroit is pulling away with it. Fourth quarter, they're at 2nd and 11 at Arizona 44. Detroit leads this game 20. Arizona Cardinals 13. and they got Detroit got the ball looking to put this game away. As the fourth quarter with 1 minute and 13 seconds left, Jared Goff at 18 for 23, 198 yards, two touchdowns, one interception. Kyler Murray 21 for 34, 205 yards, one touchdown, one interception. David Montgomery for the Lions 23 carries, 106 yards, one touchdown. Kyler Murray 5 carries, 45 yards, leads the team in rushing right now. Amon St. Brown, 7 receptions, 74 yards, one touchdown. Michael Wilson for the Cardinals, 8 receptions, 64 yards. Um, in this game, I thought Detroit would probably win this game. Kyler Murray is a great quarterback, and I hate to really say this because I'm not the tallest guy, but I can't say that, and I'm not going to say that. But I think what we're seeing right now in the NFL, y'all, is that how important having a run game is, and how important having a running back is to your NFL franchise. Somebody You need a running game, bro. You need a running game. There is not that many Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and that's just to say most of the people listening. Quarterbacks who can go out there, slang the ball around, dink and dunk, hit some deep passes. There's not that many of those guys left. These defenses are a lot better. And if you can just if these defenses, any defense, I don't care which one it is in the NFL, if you said that you were going out in this game and you were going to drop back and pass 50 times, 45 to 50 times in the game, and these defenses just get to pin their ears back on you, you're probably going to lose that game. You're probably going to lose that game. You gotta have a running game. You have to have a running game, and nobody's really showed up for the Cardinals. When Kyler Murray is leading that means that he's running for his life. Sometimes when he get the lead in rushing, yeah, he's running around. They only let one sack up, so I have no idea why. They got 77 total rushing yards on the lines right now, Shad. And Kyler Murray being the leading rusher with 45 yards. James Conner had got 9 carries, 17 yards. Trey Benson, 2 carries for 8 yards. Like, what is going on? That can't happen. That cannot happen. That can't happen. I mean, you look at the receiving, he spread the ball around pretty good. Trey McBride, three receptions, 25 yards. The guy that came from North Dakota State, Greg Dortch, 3 receptions, 33 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr., 5 receptions, 64 yards and a touchdown. Michael Wilson, 8 receptions, 64 yards, no touchdowns. So I mean, the Cardinals they did what they were supposed to do. Perhaps I need to, and I hate, and I'm not, I don't even hate to say this. Perhaps I need to go and look on your practice squad or deep on your depth chart, because I'm telling you right now, say what you want, and this ain't because of the college team that I follow. Xavier Weaver is a damn good wide receiver, and I thought that he would be good in the NFL. The Cardinals may need to go pull him up out of there and get some more magic up out there on that, and add another speed threat out there at wide receiver to help out that wide receiver core. Or else they'll probably keep on losing. Now, I don't know what's going on and exactly how he's doing off the field and if he knows the playbook or whatever, but he made the roster. And I know that he got speed, he got hands, he's a good route runner. Put him on the field and see what happens. I mean, what y'all got to lose, Cardinals? I mean, y'all about to be dropping a 1-2 at the yeah, they actually has been at the final score. So the Detroit Lions did wind up beating the Cardinals in this game. Um, but David Montgomery went off. He had 23 carries, 106 yards. Jameer Gibbs had 16 carries, 83 yards. Like, that's crazy. That's wild. 188 yards total rushing on the Cardinals. Jared Goff ain't even have to pass this game, bro. Game over. He ain't even have to pass. He ain't even have to pass, Shad. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, you
That's
know, that's
wild.
that's the way that that's the way the Lions are operating. Again, many people look at them as being the team that's going to represent the NFC, right? That's the type of lofty expectations that are in Detroit, which is wild to say or even wild to think because this is the Detroit Lions we're talking about, right? Led by Jared
Mm-hmm.
Goff. But they have some good pieces over there. Marseille Brown is turning himself into one of the top five wide receivers in all of the NFL. Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, talented, very talented duo of running backs. Looks have one of the best tight ends in the NFL. So, and a complimentary defense, right? The Cardinals for the longest period of time, even dating back to even pre-Kyler Murray, right? It just seems like their emphasis has been on trying to throw the ball more. And we have another situation where we have the quarterback being the leading rusher for a team, but obviously the opposite occurred this game versus what happened with Green Bay. But um I don't know, man. The Arizona Cardinals are in a very, very interesting place right now. Um, a lot's going on. One of the teams that, due to the fact of all of the other things that are going on, they're not as talked about as much in terms of just some of the things that they have going on. But I feel like they should be better than what they are. But
Mm-hmm.
similar to what you said, if looking at this game, if we would have picked the matchups, prior to the games, obviously we're rolling with the Detroit Lions, right?
Right.
Much more complete team. Rolling off of a high from last year in which they made some big strides, making it in the playoffs and things like that. But a good win though, man. For the Detroit
Good
Lions,
win.
right? A
Good
good a
win.
good a good a good win for the Detroit Lions.
Facts, bro. Facts. 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 This game is still going on right now. 2 minutes, 53 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and it's going down. The Ravens are up 28-25 over the Dallas Cowboys. Baltimore Ravens on 2, looking to get their first win of the season. And Dallas Cowboys are 1-1, looking to hold them off at home. Lamar Jackson is 11 for 14, 173 yards, 1 touchdown. Dak Prescott is 28 for 51, 379 yards, 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 23 carries, 150 yards, 2 tutties. Rico Dow for the Dallas Cowboys, 8 carries, 32 yards. Leading receiver for the Ravens right now is Nelson Aguilar, 1 reception, 56 yards. And Jake Ferguson is the lead receiver for the Cowboys, 6 receptions, 95 yards, no touchdowns. Man, this man, Dak Prescott, is a beast. Got sacked 3 times on the day, ain't thrown a pick, dropped back 52 times, and his team is down by 3. Hell yeah, that man's worth every penny, dog. Let's kill all the that Dak Prescott ain't worth it because he don't be winning no playoff games, bro. Can we do that, bro? Because he's good, bro. Dak is
No,
good.
no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it
Dak is good, bro. I'm
because when
sorry,
I
bro. Dak is
because when
good.
I because when I saw this game, the Ravens were up 21-3. They were
And
up,
they
and
up
the
21 to
cat
3, and now it's
is
25-28 in the fourth quarter.
the Ra- the Ravens need their butt kicked, man. This game is supposed to be over.
Man, the Ray, look, I'm a
The
Steeler
game is
fan,
supposed
so
to be
I'm not
over.
mad at it. I'm not mad at the
Of
Ravens
course,
doing what they doing, but
you're not mad at it. Of
he
course, I know
don't
you're
have the
not.
weapons. He don't have
But
the
this,
weapons, bro.
but this is terrible.
Yeah, it is.
That's terrible. I
It
mean,
is.
you're up that big. I mean, I hate to say this, the Ravens. If y'all lose this game, y'all deserve to lose this game, right? But no, it does not change my opinion about Dak Prescott. It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't.
That's crazy.
But
Dak, Dak is good, bro. He good. Dak is a good quarterback to me.
but
I
with
don't
that
know.
being but with that being said, though, an NFL quarterback does not need to be jumping back 52 times.
No,
That
no
ain't
way,
so. So where's
no
the run
way.
game? What did y'all bring Zeke back for? What was the
For
reason to
three,
bring? What was
three
bringing?
carries and six
What was the
yards.
reason to bring Zeke back? And again, you said Derrick Henry's stat line is 23 carries, 150 yards rushing. How is the game this close? It's a
Couldn't
bad
answer
foot.
that.
It's a bad football going on, man. It's a
Yeah,
bad.
very
It's
bad
a. It's
football.
a bad. It's a
Very,
bad. It's a
very,
bad.
bro. Say that
11
again,
for
bro.
11 for 14.
Yes, 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 yes.
Some bad football going on, man.
We are seeing professional collegiate football at its finest.
Some bad football going on.
Yes, bro. I don't even want. I'm disgusted. Let's go ahead and let's pick these teams before we get on up out of here. We got 3 games to pick from, and then we can go ahead and close it out. We got this game, the Bills and the Bengals game to pick from, and then we can get on up out of here. 'Cause I know you got 10 things to do, not out through also. Because that we've been here, it's just bad football, bro. That's crazy. They up and now they not. That's crazy. That's
So that
foul.
so
That's
that
why.
that so the Cowboys have taken the lead.
Have they?
No, you were saying they were up and now they're down.
Well, no, no, no. I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
no,
okay, okay,
no.
okay,
I'm
okay.
just saying, no. The
Oh, I thought you were
Baltimore
saying.
Ravens got the ball.
Oh, okay.
The Ravens
Gotcha.
have the ball, 1st and 10 at the ball at their own 34-yard line. 2 minutes and
Oh,
28 seconds
oh,
to
oh.
play in the
Well,
game.
they can if they on their side of the field. Nah, it'll be hard now.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But who you got in this game, man?
Man, you know what? I mean, you know what we would say. We both would look at it and say, look, we gotta take the Chiefs in this game, man.
You will say that though. But what
But
we've been
but what we've been seeing, I don't know. But I'm still gonna take the Chiefs though because I know I was listening to a broadcast they were talking about due to um what's my man name? Kirk Cousins dealing with the Achilles and things, how they having to operate him out of the pistol because he's him going under center is kind of hard right now. So that's gonna be kind of an interesting thing. And the Chiefs have a revamped defense, which I use revamped loosely because the defense has been good, for a couple of seasons right now. But the Chiefs, they just operating at a level, man. Xavier Worthy looks like a slam dunk pick from what they got. I'm about to take the Chiefs. I think the game will
yeah.
probably. I think it's gonna be a close game. If I had to pick, I'd probably say I'd take the Chiefs by maybe five and a half or something like that. That's what I feel
Okay.
like, something like
Okay.
that. So,
I
but I
ain't
think it's
mad
gonna be.
at that.
I think it'll be a competitive game. But I'm gonna take the Chiefs though.
Yeah, I also got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs by a touchdown. Yeah, you can't. It's hard to go ahead and go against Andy Reid and what he's able to do with an organization. Like you said, picking these guys. The Chiefs have been drafted. They got cheaper at wide receiver, but at the same time, they has not
Yes.
lost a step. They have not lost a step at all, bro. And Patrick Mahomes is Mahomes, but like I said before, and I ain't gonna keep repeating it to y'all. But the guy that's gonna take down Mahomes, see my hat, trying to tell y'all, he the only guy that can beat him. He the only guy that can take that could beat him. Can't nobody else beat Mahomes in the league right now, but us with the quarterback that we got right now. I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all control me all y'all want. In this game right here, the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling up to Buffalo, going up to Bills Mafia land. Them fans up there, they go in, they go hard, they're crazy. That team, Josh Allen, this is another team that went ahead and got cheaper at receiver, trying to rebuild. And like you said, you would have thought by the Bills with all the offseason subtractions and acquisitions that they went through in their draft that the Bills would have been vulnerable. But Josh Allen is starting to prove to a lot of people and all his naysayers that he is just that damn good, right? In the NFL. And I don't think the Bills miss a step. And I think it's going to be hard for the Jaguars to go up in there on a Monday night. And or excuse me, are they playing? Let me double check that and make sure that they playing tomorrow night instead of tonight. And before I say that, right? You know what I mean? Because I definitely don't want to be out here saying that, right? They playing tomorrow night and they playing tonight. Yeah, tomorrow at 7:30. So tomorrow night game in Buffalo, hands down. I got to take the Bills, bro. I got the Bills in this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills as well. Um, you kind of look at the Jaguars. Obviously they come in. Off the Urban Meyer situation, they were able to get quite a few notable draft picks, and they
Hey,
have a
me.
solid they have a solid team. When you look at it on paper, the Jaguars have a better roster than the
Facts.
Buffalo Bills do. But unfortunately, this is the NFL, and the better roster is not always the team that's supposed to win. Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, he's been putting on some, heroics and things like that. But you know what?
Go with the Jags.
I want to go with the Jags though, man. I really do because like I said, they have a more talented roster. You could argue that Doug Peterson is a better coach than Sean McDermott. You could make that argument, right? Obviously, because one has a Super Bowl from a team that never has gotten one. Obviously, the Buffalo Bills have never gotten one either. But you know, but I want to take the Jags. I do because I feel like they could get it together. I think they could expose the Buffalo Bills for the lack of weaponry and things that they do have. But
I don't think they lacking. That's the crazy thing. I don't think the Bills is lacking nothing. I think they
no,
just got
you're
younger.
right. Yeah, you're right. They're not lacking, in terms of that. They're more so lacking from in terms of experience.
Uh
But
huh.
the Jaguars have been, a letdown. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. I'm gonna go with the Bills.
But he really wants to go with the Jags though. Just to make that clear. Nah, let me stop. Let me stop, Shan. Let
You're
me
right
stop.
though. You're right. I really do. I really do want to go with the Jags, but
All the
I'm a,
Commanders
I'm gonna
going to
go with the Bills.
Cincinnati. Oh man. I just think. Look, you got the young Jay, you got Daniels, young guy. He was leading. He was a leading rusher last week in the game. Cincinnati Bengals. They need a win at home. They need a win. They're at home. Going to be at home tomorrow at 8:15, bro. And the Commanders actually look a little bit better than what I thought they was going to be. I tell you what, right? If I'll say this, I'll give a little bit of keys, and then I'll make my pick upon that. If the Washington Commanders are able to be successful with running the ball, or with Brian, and they're successful running the ball, McLaurin at receiver, they should be able to take the Bengals down and completely because they're missing Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was a huge part of that offense, and I'll keep saying that somebody got to emerge as the next Joe Mixon because we got to remember he was their safety valve, able to take a little dump pass out of the backfield, little in the flats, and able to turn that into a first down, maybe even more. Able to provide that for that Bengals offense, and they missed that. But it's going to be hard to go against Joe Burrow 0-2 at home on a Monday night. I That Kyle's gonna be rocking, and I don't think and that's that division. And I shouldn't be picking the Bengals, but I'm going with the Bengals.
Hmm, man, I'm gonna take Washington. I'm gonna take Washington. I feel like the Bengals have a lot, and to me,
That's crazy.
that's terrible. Yeah, that's terrible. No, but the reason I want to take the Bengals is because I feel like, and I don't know where this from, and you may agree wholeheartedly with me because obviously you're a fan of the Steelers, but okay, the Bengals made it to one Super Bowl, right? The unfortunate, just like no one would have had that on their bingo card. But I feel like the Bengals have been thrust into a realm that is making it seem like okay, y'all had a fluky season.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all fluked up and made it to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow's
Yeah.
good, Jamar Chase good, T Higgins. You lose Joe Mixon, defense pretty solid. All that stuff like that. But I do not feel like the Cincinnati Bengals have. I don't feel like they're in that position to where it's like okay, the Bengals should be favored against everyone except for the Chiefs,
Right.
right? I don't think
Mm-hmm.
they've done it because you had again one fluky season, right? Which I think you need to go ahead and say that's what it is. So I'm gonna take Washington because to me the Bengals are still y'all are the Bengals.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't
Y'all
mad at
not.
you for that.
I know you're
No, I
not,
ain't
right?
mad.
I know you're not. I know
Right.
you're not. So it's
Right.
kind of it's kind of I'm not gonna get any pushback because you're a Steeler fan. I may need some pushback. Somebody's like, no, the Bengals have earned the right to be put into a certain realm, but in reality, they have not earned it. Y'all had one
Just
season. Y'all lost. And again, most people could say, hey, had Aaron Donald not turned into Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey was beat and that would have been Joe Burrow throwing the touchdowns. I think it was Jamar Chase to win the Super Bowl. So the Rams don't have a Super Bowl. The Bengals do. So, some people are going to hold on to that. But again, these are the Bengals.
the
These are
Rams
the
beat
Bengals.
the 49ers 27-24 update. They beat them.
Hey, two evenly matched teams. Somebody got to lose.
Wow. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off with that, bro, but I had to
No,
bring
it's
that
all
up.
good.
That's
No, it's all good. No,
crazy.
it's no,
They
but like I
came
said,
back and they got the dub, man. And the Ravens was able to hold on to their victory. 3 points, 28-25. Um,
so the Cowboys won the first game and lost the last two.
yeah.
You hate to see it.
I'm still not gonna say Dak bad though. I'm still not gonna say that he
Nah,
worth everything.
he's not bad, but similar to the Bengals, he's not up there. He's not up there.
You know what I mean? They gotta put a running. They messing a running game bad over there, man. And Joe Mixon not being with the Bengals, I didn't push back on you with with this Commanders game is because without Joe Mixon being there, bro, he did so much for that offense that people are not seeing, and I'm able to see it obviously because I'm a Steelers fan and I seen them twice a year, but it's like with him not being there, bro, like you let that one slip, and everybody kept saying they need the receivers. I'm like, the person they need is the running back. Like that's who they need. Like, and the running backs just get overlooked, and I don't know how because they're so important, and you're seeing that in all the games and all the stats. Like you're seeing that running backs are very important in the NFL, like very important, and they people just don't have them. So man,
Yeah,
but hey man, I appreciate your time, bro. I see that you had
no
baby
problem.
today and everything, man. So we gonna chop these up and then we'll put them out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how we go. So y'all see these as episodes. If you couldn't catch the live show, you'll be seeing them as as videos throughout the week or whatever. I appreciate you, bro, coming through, man. Them picks, yeah, they're college picks. So Boston
Terrible.
did win, but you did great with them. You picked almost every team right. The only game that got you was that Boston College and Michigan game. If I recount correctly.
No, because we both picked Kansas State.
Oh yeah, Kansas State got us.
We
Yep,
picked we picked
damn,
we picked
yep,
offense.
yep.
Michigan beat USC.
Uh, we took Colorado. We took
We picked,
Florida.
yeah,
You went with Michigan in the Boston College game. I took Boston College. We both took Louisville.
they won.
I took Oklahoma over Tennessee. You got Tennessee. You got
I
that
picked
game.
Tennessee. Yeah,
We both went with Oklahoma State.
but you
Oklahoma
know
State
what?
lost to Utah.
But you know what?
We both went
That
with SC, and I knew better. I kind of did know better because I kind of talked through that game, but I still took SC. He was up in the big house, but SC lost.
But man, obviously that's not the topic. But bro, shout out to Khalil Mullins. Shout out to Khalil Mullins because that last big run that he had, 9 out of 10 times that does not happen. I'm sure Lynn is in film study. He is going to start with that and say there are two defenders there. There is no way in the world y'all supposed to allow for him to break that tackle. So shout out to Mullins, man. Shout out to Sharon Moore. Shout out to Michigan, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Will Johnson with another pick six for a touchdown. Like you know, he's just he's like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, he is. He is.
But but yeah, man. But yeah, man. Anytime,
Hey,
bro.
before we get on up out of here, bro, and we close out, bro. One question, bro, and that's it, bro.
What up?
Did Baylor lose that? Did Baylor lose that game, or did Colorado win that game?
Baylor lost that game. I talked about. I call. I usually do not call in the Coach Hayes show after Colorado games because I don't want to interject my opinion because I have
Dog
no
in the
stake.
fight.
I have no
Right.
stake in this, right? I have no stake
Right.
in it, right? I'm a college
Mm-hmm.
football fan, so if a game is on and a game that I prefer to watch is not on, then I will watch it, right? So I
Right.
was able to watch the end of that game, and you know what? Let me take that back. Colorado won the game. Colorado won the game because Shepard should have caught the first pass, the one that he dropped. Shepard should have
Mm-hmm.
caught that pass, right?
Right.
But then when you look at it, and I asked Coach Hayes this question, I said, Coach Hayes, as a defensive coordinator, which I know that's where you made your chops at, coming
Mm-hmm.
up the ranks. You were a defensive guy. Do you play that type of coverage at the end of the game? And he said, absolutely not. Because he broke it down. Shador, the where the ball was on the field, Shadur had more than enough arm to make a throw into the end zone. And shout out and kudos to what's the young man that caught the ball?
LeJontay Wester.
LeJon Webster. I get him and Shepard mixed up. LeJontay Webster. That was not an easy catch to have.
Mm-mm.
That was not like that is not an easy catch. We see that catch all the time where the guy gets his arms under the ball, but when they show the replay, we see that the nose of the ball touched the touched the ground before they were
Keep
able
them
to actually
elbows
catch.
in.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So shout out to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so no, I have to say Colorado won that game. It
Colorado
just
won that game.
it
Okay.
just so happens that the play in which put them into overtime was just a miraculous play, even though even though Shepard should have caught the Shepard should have caught the ball to begin with, right?
Even though Baylor was up 24 to 10 in the
I
fourth
mean,
quarter,
I mean, I
they
mean,
missed a field goal
they're not a good
and they
team
didn't
either.
play prevent defense. They did a lot of things to lose that game, bro.
I mean, and then yeah, but
They
what
did,
ma-
bro.
what
Colorado
amp
won.
yeah, Colorado won. What
Yes,
amplifies this more is David Randa. You are a defensive coordinator by just by nature. That's what you are. Why are you playing regular coverage?
absolutely, Jose. Absolutely, I'm worried about it. Are y'all worried about the O line because Shador got sacked 8 times? Hell yeah, that's a problem, bro. That
I
is a
guess I,
problem.
I guess I don't have a dog in the fight, you know.
He
But
got sacked 8, Jose, and then when I'm getting up out of here because I can't hold Shad up on here, but I'm gonna answer this, and then I'll probably be talking about more of it when when I talk about the UFC preview and that when we got the panel when I open up for the panel show and all of that. But absolutely, that's a problem, bro. Like you get sacked 8 times on the Baylor in the Baylor game and the way that they played Baylor. Not to say they came back, they were resilient, and I don't want to take anything from Colorado because they won that game. They did everything they had to do, claw, fight, stayed in the game. It was easy for them to say, you know what, we're down. Let's call it what it is. But they did not do that. So kudos to them doing that. But getting sacked 8 times by Baylor, they're going to face a hella fat defense and a hella fat offense with Gus Malzahn's UCF's Knights, and they got to go to the bounce house to play. It's going to be a long season. Just know that. But when
but
you
you
got,
said but you said that though. When we made the picks, you said Baylor had the personnel and the scheme to
mm-hmm,
get after Shador. You
I
said
did,
that.
I did, and I kept trying
So
to tell everybody that.
so my follow-up questions you would be, was that more so, should that be more credited to Baylor doing that, or should we criticize Colorado offensive line more?
It's well, look, it's both, right? Because they should have been prepared for Baylor, and they should have known that Baylor can get after you like that. They should have been more prepared for that with the on the offensive line, because I knew a lot about those guys: Garmin Randolph, Trey May, Trevian May, Steve Litton, and to be honest with y'all, Steve Linton, the guy who was getting back there the most, he's not even one of their premier sackers like that. He's not even the guy that be really getting back there putting in the work like that. So shout out to Steve Linton because he had a good game, but it was a great game by both teams, and Colorado pulled that off. But moving forward, if Dave Aranda, he specializes on defense, and moving forward, they're gonna face that a lot. They're gonna throw a lot at the offensive line. They got to clean up a lot of them holds because there's a lot of holds that I seen that they didn't call that they get away with, and I don't think moving forward, them being the team that they are, 3-1, all the flash bravado, they're going to start dinging them for that kind of stuff, man. So clean up the play on our offensive line. But other than that, I mean, when I look at the film, I'll probably have a little bit more critiques to say, but I don't want to critique right now. I want to give it the 24-hour rule and let everybody out there that's a CU fan soak it up and feel good about the win, and including myself. And then, I'll be back later this weekend and I'll probably point out some things to y'all and let y'all know what's going on. But I appreciate y'all kicking it with us on this NFL Sunday and listening to the game recap. Make sure y'all hit y'all notification bell so y'all know when we break down the videos and have them out there for y'all and all that good stuff. But we will be back midweek. I gotta get up with DP. We'll be back with the fans' point of view, and we definitely be back with the fans' point of view morning picks for the college football because I know y'all like that too. So, well, we ain't always right, but we on time. You dig? All right, y'all. Peace out. Appreciate you, Shad. I appreciate you, bro. Have a good night.